Have you ever wondered how a man who started investing at age 11 became one of the richest people on earth, not through luck, but through a series of powerful, almost hidden lessons? This video isn't just about Warren Buffett's money, it's about his mindset, his habits, and the way he sees the world, a way that made him a billionaire. And if you stay until the end, you'll discover a principle he says is more valuable than money itself. He once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." But what does that really mean? At age 11, Buffett bought his first stock. It was a modest purchase, 3 shares of Citi's service. But what happened next changed him forever. The stock dropped. He panicked. He sold too early. Had he held just a few more weeks, he would have doubled his money. That single experience taught him a lesson. Wealth rewards patience, not panic. From that moment, he decided he would never be ruled by emotion again. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite being one of the most famous investors in the world, there are 3 industries Warren Buffett almost never invests in. And the reason why will surprise you. First, technology. For decades, Buffett avoided tech stocks. Why? Because he said, "If I don't understand how a company makes money, I won't touch it." Even during the dot-com boom, while others were getting rich and losing it all, Buffett stayed back. People called him out of touch. But when the bubble burst, he smiled. Second, gold. He says gold just sits there. It doesn't produce. It doesn't create. He invests in businesses, not shiny rocks. And third, cryptocurrency. He once said Bitcoin is probably rat poison squared. Now, agree or not, this isn't about being right or wrong. It's about something deeper. Buffett never invests in what he doesn't understand. And that's a rule too many people break every single day. So what does he do differently? Let me take you into a day in the life of Warren Buffett. He wakes up early. He doesn't rush. He reads a lot. In fact, he says he reads 500 pages a day, not just to gather facts, but to train his brain, to think long term, to spot value where others see noise. He says, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Buffett is a master of focus. He spends 80% of his time thinking and only 20% acting. That's completely opposite of how most people live. But maybe that's the point. Now, here's something almost no one knows. Buffett never keeps a to-do list. Instead, he uses something called the 25 to 5 rule. He writes down his top 25 goals. Then, he circles the top 5. The other 20 he avoids at all costs. Why? Because distraction is the enemy of success. You might be thinking, okay, but what's the one thing I can actually do today? Here's what Buffett recommends. Start building your circle of competence. Know what you understand. Only make moves inside that circle. And most importantly, stay consistent. Before we close, here's a quote Buffett said that might just change the way you see your entire life. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Wealth isn't built in a moment. It's built day by day, with patience, with discipline, and with a mindset that never stops growing. If this video inspired you, don't just like it, live it. Because as Warren Buffett shows us, it's not about having a millionaire bank account. It's about having a millionaire mind. But wait, there's something even deeper behind Buffett's success. It's not just what he does, it's what he believes. Buffett once said, "The most important decision you'll ever make is who you choose to surround yourself with." He knew early on that your environment shapes your future. So he surrounded himself with people who were smarter, wiser, and more ethical than he was. People who didn't just chase money, They chased value. One of those people, Charlie Munger, Buffett's lifelong business partner, and one of the few people he says actually challenges him. They disagreed often, but that's exactly why it worked together. They built Berkshire Hathaway not overnight, but over decades, brick by brick, decision by decision. And here's a secret. Buffett says the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. That's why he mastered his habits early. He lives in the same house he bought in 1958. He drives a modest car, eats simple food. But his daily decisions, they're calculated with precision. Now, let's talk about something you probably didn't expect. Warren Buffett is terrified of one thing: not losing money, not making a bad investment, not even dying. It's reputation. He once said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." If you think about that, you'll do things differently. Buffett operates with radical integrity. When he makes a mistake, he admits it publicly. When a company fails, he takes responsibility, even if it wasn't directly his fault. And that's why people trust him. Trust, in the end, is the most valuable currency. But what if you're not Warren Buffett? What if you're just starting? No money, no connections. Buffett would smile and say, "That's perfect, because here's the truth. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." You don't need millions to start investing. You don't need to be a genius to start reading. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Start with $10. Start with one book. Start with one small habit done every day. Before you click away, I want you to remember one final lesson. Buffett was once asked, "How do you become rich?" He said nothing for a moment. Then he smiled. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. And above all, never stop learning. If you've made it this far, you've already proven something powerful. You don't just want to be entertained. You want to be better. And that's what Buffett would admire most about you. Like this video if you found value. Share it with someone who needs a mindset shift. And comment below. What's one habit you'll start today inspired by Warren Buffett? Because remember, money is a result, but mindset is the cause. And you get to choose yours starting now.